Okay guys, here we are with a best deck ever, Wow, that just sounded really weird when I said that. This deck is so good, guys, that Konami even certified it as one of the best decks ever. I mean, as you start the game, it says Konami, right? And this is the deck they give you. So, no, this deck's really horrible. I'm really serious. But I decided to do a deck recipe on it because, well, everyone's seen it. But I want to talk about how you kind of play this bad boy. So yeah. So start off, we have one Archfiend Soldier. He's like one of the main beaters, like you could say. Not too much to say about him. DD Trainer, really good defense, and I accidentally hit down. He's, one Dunamis Dark Witch. Pretty good attack for a fairy. Usually they're like, oh no, actually they're 1800s, except for well, it's a good level 4 star one. One Clayman, really good defense again. Neo's the biggest monster in this deck. Yep. One Sparkman, and apparently he has two different pictures. 1600 attack. Yep. Another 1900. They didn't put you off that badly, but I mean, you'll probably get wrecked by a lot of other decks. So you have like what, 3 attackers here, and Mechanical Chaser, which is pretty good because those 1800s, if you don't want to crash, you can crash into them with this, and it's one of those weird cards that actually has like 50 more attack than like the regular card. So yeah, pretty good. Alien Dog, its effect does nothing for you in this deck, but it is 1500 attack. Black Stego, one of those really good effects, I could say, because you can attack, and then he can switch himself to defense. Now, you're like 1200 attack? No, that's not good. But, it's effect though. That's what matters, and it's really good effect. I mean, it's not the best, but it's really good because this stops something from running over it. It's able to be tributed and whatever, and yada yada. Does Koala, I guess, is a good tech, but I don't know. It's whatever. So mainly in there for burn damage. Drolade, pretty good. Destroys defense, so it puts your opponent in kind of a lock, so they won't just be like setting stuff. One Elemental Hero Prisma. Well, you don't have any fusions or synchros in this, so he's kind of useless. So yeah. Well, its attack is really good, but its effect is useless. One Elemental Hero Wildheart, my bad. What he does is he's unaffected by traps. This is like the main card, other than the 1900s, that you're going to be running to your opponent with, because your opponent can't torrential this, they can't mirror force it, they can't do any of that stuff with the trap cards. What they could do, however, is solemn it, because, solemn just negates the summon before actually being summoned, so that's the only thing they could do to this thing that is trap related. So, I could be wrong, but yeah. It's unaffected by traps, so if you're facing an opponent that has a lot of traps, just summon him out and attack. Your opponent can't do anything against it. And if your opponent's like pretty bad at the game, they'll probably activate everything against this card trying to get rid of it. One Giant Rat. What does it search? Well, it's destroyed, it gets 1500 attack point stuff. So, you get Wildheart, Stego, Clayman, not Steamroid. So yeah, I guess you could get Wildheart if you want to attack. If you want to defend, get Stego, because Clayman, I mean, it's a little cool combo there, if you think about it. Because you can get Giant Rat, and when Giant Rat is destroyed, you bring out Stego. Then your opponent will attack Stego. Stego will put himself in defense. Unlike Clayman, where he'll be stuck in attack. So, yeah, if you get hit, like if your monster gets destroyed, if you're in attack, bring out this. If you're going to defend, bring out this. Do not bring out Clayman. One Mask of Darkness brings back a trap from the grave. Pretty good tech in a lot of decks. Neospatian Air Hummingbird. Gain 500 for each card in your opponent's hand. So, pretty good start. Card. So, yeah. Not too good when the duel goes on though. Steamroid. His attack goes up 500 when he attacks a monster, and it goes down 500 if he's attacked. But, you know, it's pretty good. I actually like these kind of cards because it gets over like those annoying cards that like are like Thunder Kings. What else is there? Cyber Dragon. It gets over. It gets over. It's 2,300 attack, 1 attacks. I don't know. There's something I'm probably forgetting, but really good. And also, if you get defend this somehow, really good. But you know, it does have its uses where it's not gonna be good anymore. So, on Submarine Roid, attack opponent directly, and it does have the ability to turn itself in defense when it inflicts damage. So, pretty good. And Scarab. Some people don't know how this card works. What it does is when it's face down, you flip it over into attack position. That's when it gets an effect. It doesn't get an effect if it's attacked. And it doesn't, like, it's not a flip. So, yeah, if you guys are curious how that worked. One brain control, you take something, and, well, in this deck, you'll be attacking with it. Or maybe a tribute to, I don't know. One foolish, it's mainly to put, what is this face? Always target the Neos, so that you can thin out the deck easier, and you can use the Monster Reborn to get it back. True Need, really good. I mean, these are 2 cards that are really good that they give you here. It gets rid of back row if you know how to use them. I recommend using True Need if you really need to get past something. And I'm not talking about like a Gravity Bind. And you're like, well, I can't get over that, so I need a True Need this Gravity Bind. You should use this when you're going to OTK. Because there's no reason to True Need your opponent if you're just going to do like 500 damage. It's really, really pointless. And Heavy Storm, which just blows up every back row. I mean, what True Need? Oh, what if they have a trap? I don't want to run into that. I mean, there's pretty much like junk cards. Like after this flipped, you're not going to get over stuff with this card. You might as well just attack with it. Who cares if your opponent has like Mirror Force or something? It's not going to do anything if it destroys this. But if it destroys something like Neos or something, or like an OTK where you have like 3 big monsters on the field, that's where True Need would come into play. So, just wanted to point that out. A lot of people just use it like, oh, I don't care. If you want to get rid of back row, use Heavy Storm. Really, that's like the best way I could say. One Magical Mallet, return cards back into your deck, and then they shuffle, and then you draw the amount of cards you put back. So, I don't know how I feel about this card. I kind of like Reload better, but it's whatever. Monster Reborn, bring back Neos, or bring back Droid, Oddheart, Steamroid, possibly Scarabs, depending on your situation. Maybe you just want to bring this back because you can win. Uh, Nightmare Steel Cage, no one can attack for 2 turns. Good setup card, but with this kind of deck, it doesn't really have a great setup thing, so. Unless if you're setting up with the Jitsu Break with the normal monsters, then, I mean, by all means, but, you know, there's not really too much setup you can get with this deck. Retroactively, you gain 700 attack. That's nothing more different than that. Now, here's a fun thing to do with this though. When you attack something, like you say, let's say you attack with Alien Dog into a Vice Dragon with 2000 attack. Most people will be like, okay, activate this attack. That's not what you do with this card. Or this card, my bad. There's 2 ways to play this. You play this card defensively or offensively. Now, offensively, you want to use it when when they say, do you want to activate something during the damage step? Damage step implies that nothing can be activated. No mirror forces, no jitsu breaks, no Sarusaku armor. That's why you can't stop Honest that way. Because in the damage step, no traps and spells can be activated except for anything that increases attack. So, or decreases stuff, so. When it says damage step, you want to activate this. You don't want to activate it right away because your opponent can easily stop it. They can easily hit your monster with like Mirror Force or something. You want to pretend like you don't have anything good and that you're just going crazy or something, so you attack your opponent. Now, if you attack into that Vice Dragon, whatever, so you attack that Vice Dragon, your opponent has a face down. They're like, okay, well, he's going to lose 500. Why would he do this? So they won't do anything. Then it'll pop up with a message saying, damage step, do you want to activate anything? You activate Retroactively. Now you got over this monster. Because you would play this. So, yeah, if you guys were curious, that's how you play that offensively. Defensively, just set it, and when they attack you, and you see that red line to attack, flip it over, and then gain the attack. That's if you can get over their monster. Or if you need it to stop in a TK. If it's a 2100, or no. If it's a Blue Eyes attacking this, most likely you're not going to activate Retroactively. So, interesting thing there. One Scapegoat protects you, puts tokens out on the field. Oh wait, Skyscraper. There you go. Pretty good card. Let's Neos get over Blue Eyes and Red Eyes. Now keep in mind, Skyscraper gives you an extra 1000 attack if your monster's attack is weaker than the opponent's monster's attack. So most likely you want to run into them with Wild Hearts because then they can activate traps and get your boost. Also, if you're battling dragons, I would recommend get to Neos right away, and then just basically go, okay, I attacked Red Eyes, and then Skyscraper will do his thing and take down your opponent, or his Red Eyes. So, yeah. I mean, there's other things too, but whatever. And keep in mind, Skyscraper only works for elemental heroes, so he goes 1800, 3500, 2600, 2700, 2500, and yeah, so also if your opponent uses an Honest, like let's say your opponent attacks this and they have an 1800 and then they use Honest to gain 2500. Now they gain way too much attack for Skyscraper to do anything, because this gives it only 1000 more attack. So if your opponent's monster is 1100 more attack points than you, you're not gonna stop their monster. So just so you know. One Smashing Ground destroys face-up defense. Gets rid of those stallers and gets rid of those big old monsters with defenses that are like obscene. Swords block your opponent from attacking for 3 turns. Sorry, I was doing something. When you're... Okay, so one bottomless. If you want to set this right away, and then your opponent summons and banish something, you know. Doesn't work on Stardust, just so you know. One Dust Tornado gets rid of back rows, basically MST of this deck, because they didn't give you MST. They're like, well, 12 spells, that's enough spells, we need some traps. One Jar of Greed. I can see where this would come in handy, but I would get rid of it right away. One Jitsu Break. Get rid of this if you don't have any normal monsters in your deck. Fun thing. This card is when your opponent attacks a face-up normal monster you control, attack or defense. Destroy all monsters on the field except face-up, attack, position, normal monsters. Now, it will destroy this and this if you don't put them in attack. Let's say you have this one, and this one in attack mode. You activate this because they attack Neos or whatever. Now, it just blows up everything except normal monsters that are in attack mode. Another exception for the rules is Wildheart, because he's unaffected by traps. So you can put him out on the field, you can put Neos out and Archfiend Soldier, activate it and you'll be totally fine. Your opponent will probably set like 5 traps to stop you from attacking. They won't obviously be traps usually, but they might be. So go Wildheart and then they might just waste them. I don't know. Anyways, right. Anything else? I feel like I was going to tell you something, but now I don't remember. Oh well. Yeah, if you get the chance, get this out of the deck, because Mirror Force does a lot more for you, I guess you could say. So. One Magic Cylinder, reflect an attack for the damage. One Magic Gem, discard a card, which usually Neos, and negate the spell card. One negate attack, pretty good. Works it very well with more negate attacks, so. And one Sarustaku armor, I'm pretty sure that's how you spell it. Sakarustisu, or I don't know. Basically stop opponent from attacking. And there you go. I explained the starter deck to you. I hope you guys found some good instinct or something good about this, because, well, this deck is absolutely horrible. True, it is pretty good if you're a starter, and you're trying to figure it out, and then some people are like, oh no, I don't like playing a starter deck, people. But, you know, they're not that, it's not really bad. I know me and Bruce were like joking around and saying ew and whatever, but you need to know, guys, that we say that because, I mean, if you look at all these other cards, I mean, I have all the cards, so if you look at all these other cards, you see stuff like Abyss Soldier, which is really good, make water decks, like Air Knight, make fairies. It doesn't compete to like aliens or something. Like how much synergy these other decks have. This deck has no synergy. Like, there's nothing here that is really working with each other. There's Giant Rat, but really you're getting like 2 cards. Because if you get Clayman, you'll probably get wrecked. So yeah, it's not the greatest deck, but you know, it does help you start out, and it does give you it even gives you Monster Reborn, and that card is like OP as heck. So yeah, Brain Control. So the good cards of the deck, I would say, are definitely the 2 1900 attack points. The 2000 defense points are pretty good. The Drill 8 is really good. Dusquall is really good. Black Stego. Wildheart is decent. Giant Rat is a good start for Earth decks. Mask of Darkness, pretty good. You could crush card him too, which makes it even better. I find him alright, but he does a lot. This card I personally like. Submarine Roid, is alright. Scarabs, I don't think he's that great. Because it takes too much for his effect to go off. Unless you're doing like Nightmare Steel Cage with him, then or Swords is even better. Smashing Ground, really good. One Bottomless, better than none. Armor, I personally like D Prisons, only because of the fact that it actually banishes instead of destroys. Now, that just means for Stardust and Prime Material and whatever. Magic Jammer are pretty good. I don't like to discard though. I usually would play Dark Bribe, but it's a good second. Magic Cylinder, really good card to end games. Right. So yeah, those are like the cards I think that are really good if you were build a deck. It would basically be a lot of things. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, guys. So basically, I give the starter deck a 6 out of 10. It's not the greatest, but it does help you learn Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. It lets you learn combos, lets you get new cards, and, you know, you could use it with your friends or whatever. You could use it with me if you want, I don't care. So, yeah. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you like my suggestions and info on things. And don't let people bully you or something and say, oh, you played a starter deck? Well, you suck. I mean, if you just barely started and you're using this, I mean, go right ahead. You could win with it. You easily could win with this. It depends on what you're battling, though, because there are really cheap OTK things. So, it's for you guys to learn. I just want to give you some tips and tricks on how to use starter deck. So, yeah. See you guys later.